Holy cow, breaking news. Donald Trump has just announced that he is officially cutting off all military aid to Ukraine, as of course this meme just became a reality and a real fight.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III.
Yep, and the ramifications of it are very vast, very severe, as now the Ukrainians are going to be in an extremely desperate situation, as already a lot of people on the left, on the corporate media establishment, connected to the intel agencies, are freaking out. And this latest news is going to have them freaking out a lot, as there's still some larger questions remaining. Starlink, which is the key to a lot of the military success that the Ukrainians have been having in this larger theater of war that is slowly and surely escalating, and is definitely going to be escalating from here, as just moments ago, Trump officially paused all military aid to Ukraine. Now, we told you about this earlier. We told you that he was thinking about this. It looks like he just committed. It looks like he just acted. And I think we know why. We'll tell you why in just a little bit here, as a lot of people are saying, game over, Zelensky. Thank you, President Donald Trump, as he has just officially paused all military aid, turning up the heat on Volodymyr Zelensky, just days after they, of course, had a massive blow-up at the Oval Office, where the United States accused Zelensky of being rude, and also meeting with the Democratic Party establishment right before meeting with Donald Trump, as a lot of people are now saying this whole thing was a setup that led to this blowing up of tension, as right afterwards, Zelensky went over to the United Kingdom, and then the United Kingdom started to talk all crazy. I don't know if they're going to continue to talk all crazy now, especially with this latest kind of development here, as Donald Trump now is calling the shots here. He has said, if Zelensky wants peace, then we could restart negotiations. There's White House officials saying that Zelensky has to kind of apologize for his larger kind of behavior that was committed at the White House in order to restart these larger kind of peace talks here. But the question now remains, what will Elon Musk do? As already the European nations were preparing for him potentially cutting off Starlink, which he has a monopoly on. He has the latest technological advancements that allow people in the Ukrainian territory to have satellite internet. This has been a game changer, especially when it comes to geolocating specific targets, specific radars, specific systems that allow drones to fly in certain territories and regions, as of course it has advanced not only communications but the effectiveness of a lot of the military weapons that they have in the theater that aren't as powerful as if it isn't for this kind of direct satellite internet connectivity that Elon Musk has granted the Ukrainians. Now, once that's done, it's going to look really bad. Already, it's going to look really bad for the Ukrainians on the front lines there, as there is a larger kind of crisis of desertion. And there's also a lot of reports of a lot of the weapons that are being sent there to the front lines just end up missing. As Zelensky even admitted himself, just like $100 billion would it be? $100 billion, doesn't know where it went, where'd it go? We still don't have any kind of legitimate answers to that larger question here. As Mike Cernovich says, European elites and Zelensky talked a big game. Now let them play it. What game do they have here? They talked crazy. They talked about sending troops from France and the United Kingdom over to Ukraine. But as we know here, the United States is the major backer. It's the financer. It's the daddy in all of this, including NATO funding, which now a lot of people are questioning. Maybe we shouldn't be financing that larger military endeavor there, especially with the larger ties and policies that have shifted so dramatically between the United States and Europe, as a lot of Europeans think that the Ukrainians deserve more Western weapons. But then asked directly if they think that their own individual countries, their own tax dollars, their own money should be going to Ukraine, a lot of them don't want that. So these polls specifically show, Europeans want the support, but they're not willing to give the support. And overwhelmingly, the United States has bankrolled this entire conflict, a conflict that has led to tremendous human life loss. And if you look at this kind of live war map and how the situation is unfolding here, you're seeing a huge kind of offensive right in this particular region, right in the kind of Kursk, Donbass region here, where the Russians have launched a major offensive. Now, with this launch of this major offensive, with all of these developments going the way that they are, with now the Russians understanding, they're going to run out of supplies soon. They're not going to have all of the things that the United States gave them. They're going to be running short on these key components that they need to prolong this conflict. How does this conflict going to turn out for them? Not good. And this is overall just a horrible situation for a lot of the people that are on the front lines during this larger proxy war that now are facing a huge uphill, major, tremendous battle that is going to be very difficult for them to be on their own with. Before going on and talking about the other kind of larger developments here and the comments that we heard earlier from the President of the United States, but before talking about that, before showing you that clip, we wanted to remind you to support this independent media broadcast by going to wearechange.shop and getting yourselves some supplements. We got some really great stuff, some of the best stuff, Common Sense Creatine. You got 2 months of serving here of some really top-notch stuff. We went out there, we did the science, we did the homework, we talked to medical experts and said, hey, we want the best stuff on the market. And I was like, how do we get it? He was like, this is it. It's actually from Germany, 99.99% pure creatine. None of the additives, none of the fillers, none of the bull crap. And creatine, really, really important for a lot of important cognitive health, especially in elderly people, especially in menopausal women. It's not just for the jocks that this stuff is really awesome and incredible for. It is really great for a lot of people. And when I take it, I see definitely a larger boost when it comes to, of course, the gains that I get in the gym, but also, more importantly, the larger kind of cognitive function that I have that has absolutely increased, in my opinion, because of creatine. So creatine, get it right now. We are change.shop, 2 months supply, and get it while supplies last, as the people of Ukraine are definitely in for a very tough road ahead, as this might be the major turning point where the Ukrainians actually say, okay, fine, we will make sure there's peace here. And it's not, and it's unfair to say the Ukrainians, since there is a concerted effort by a lot of the kind of UK elites, by a lot of the intel agencies here, by a lot of the kind of bought off leadership, as the Ukrainian politicians are known of being extremely corrupt and acting on behalf of the people who really kind of pull their strings here. And I think we're seeing that kind of prime example with just a breakdown of communication and this larger fight that has unfolded between Trump and Zelensky that truly is not going to be ending well anytime soon. Here's the clip of Trump earlier today when asked about this larger kind of breakdown of communication and how he sees things moving forward.
Make a deal with Russia, and you're going to have to make a deal with Ukraine. You're going to have the assent, and you're going to have the consent from the European nations, because I think that's important, and from us. I think everybody has to get into a room, so to speak, and we have to make a deal. And the deal can be made very fast. It should not be that hard a deal to make. It could be made very fast. Now, maybe somebody doesn't want to make a deal. And if somebody doesn't want to make a deal, I think that person won't be around very long. That person will not be listened to very long because
he's hinting at Zelensky here. He's saying Zelensky without saying Zelensky here. Let's just be real with ourselves, as the Russians have publicly come out and said, hey, Zelensky doesn't want to do a rare earth minerals deal. We'll do it, Leo. We have more territories. We have more rare earth minerals. Let's go refine them. Let's go and start making them in our territory. So clearly we are seeing the public blow up of one side as we have the breakdown of communications here, and Trump hinting you won't last long if you keep denying this larger peace deal, if you want this war to continue.
Because I believe that Russia wants to make a deal. I believe certainly the people of Ukraine want to make a deal. They've suffered more than anybody else. We talk about suffering. They've suffered. But if you think about it, under President Bush, they got Georgia, right? Russia got Georgia. Under President Obama, they got a nice big submarine base a nice big chunk of land where they have their submarines. You know that, right? Crimea. Under President Trump, they got nothing. And under President Biden, they tried to get the whole thing. They tried to get the whole big Ukraine, the whole thing. If I didn't get in here, they would have gotten the whole thing. So,
important points here, as there's another video going around social media showing how Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, George W. Bush, Joe Biden all talked about how trustworthy Putin is, how good he is. And of course, they never faced the same criticisms that Donald Trump is facing right now, as there was a larger kind of psyop against him ever since he took office back in 2016 with the Russian collusion hoax, which built up to this larger kind of moment where still there are some people on the left saying Trump's a Russian puppet. Clearly, that's not the case here, as he escalated the scenario and situation in his first term a lot more than Barack Obama did. Let's just be honest. And Trump brags about this. Trump brags about, I gave you, the Ukrainians, javelins. Obama gave you blankets, as he clearly wants some respect on his name. And, of course, he's not getting it from Zelensky. That looks like he has already made a deal with the British to specifically undermine the United States and was going to, of course, spear and destroy this larger peace deal from the very beginning. But now, what's going to happen with NATO? What's going to happen with the United Kingdom is, of course, these two countries were talking wild. NATO, this alliance, was talking wild, but they also came down to the conclusion, but we're going to do this with the United States. The UK made a very similar statement saying, yeah, we're going to send planes in the skies and troops on the ground, but we're going to do this with the support of the United States. The United States just signaled, we're not playing along with any of those games. We're not doing any of that, and we're not going to continue to pay for the prolongment of this larger war, of this larger fight, of this larger crazy, insane situation, as way too many people have lost their life, as the great statesman himself, Ron Paul, came out and said that the UK Prime Minister is talking like a tough guy, but his plans for Ukraine are absolutely delusional.
Peace in Ukraine, how's it going to come about? Are they on the verge of it? Seems to us that one side's losing it. Why don't they just, go home and say they lost the war? But why are we there? Well, we're there because we promoted this stupid war.
Yep, as it looks like Donald Trump is definitely listening to Ron Paul more and more, as now there's some bigger questions remaining about potentially a bigger conspiracy afoot here, as a lot of people are saying, that second guy that tried to take out Trump on his lawn here in South Florida that was about to take shots at him, that luckily was prevented and stopped by the Secret Service. Yeah. That guy was very connected with the Ukrainians that he was advertising for, that he was recruiting for, that he was literally working on getting passports for in order to fly from foreign countries to be able to fight on the front lines for this mercenary CIA-filled military that clearly this guy had some weird roots and ties to. Was there a larger plan for the Ukrainians to try to potentially sabotage and destroy American politics, intervene in American politics? Well, that's a question that a lot of people are asking themselves, as clearly peace talks here have been sabotaged. They have not worked. Will this next step that Donald Trump just escalated work here? Will they actually bring Zelensky to heel? Will they actually make him come and apologize for the larger kind of outburst that happened and come to the negotiation table once again and say, hey, okay, we could actually talk about this right now. Let's deal with this problem right now. Let's fix this problem right now. Let's make this deal right now, and let's move forward in a direction where all of us at least get to save more human life here, while of course saving face. The best outcome here. Both sides declare victory. Both sides declare that the war's over. That they're not going to fight again. The best outcome here is that there's going to be more money on the table, more people are going to be making it, and the best possibility here is, in my opinion, that this war just ends. If you agree, share this video. I love you guys. Get some supplements on wearechange.shop. Stay tuned for more, all here exclusively on youtube.com/wearechange.